I never ever approach a situation with a client with the anticipation of forcing a client to do something because, as I have told a client, if you are hell bent on doing something, then we will do it because you know what? I cannot see it from my house. So it does not matter to me. But if it will work in your house and if it still functions the way it's supposed to and you love it, and for some reason aesthetically I don't like it, we will still do it if you really, really want it because I am not the one who has to live with it. You have tuned in to the Designer Within, episode number 14. I'm John McClain, and welcome to the Designer Within podcast, the business-minded podcast created for creative entrepreneurs by a creative entrepreneur. That's me. I know firsthand the challenges, but also the victories that can come with our careers. And I'm here to sip and spill the tea with you. It's time to dive deep within yourself and redesign your own business and your life from the inside out. Together, we will uncover secrets and share valuable insights. So prepare for a transformative experience, my friends, because it's time to unleash the designer within. Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode number 14 of The Designer Within. So happy to have you here. If you're a new listener, welcome. If you are a return listener, welcome back. I'm giving you a big virtual hug from across this microphone. I hope you're enjoying the episodes. If you are listening on your walks, if you're listening at the gym, which is what I do sometimes to podcasts, wherever you're listening, thank you for taking me along with you for the ride and for the journey. I hope you are learning some things along the way. I am spilling my guts over here trying to share things that I have learned throughout my career as a designer and as a business owner. And oh my goodness, there is just so much more to come. I am barely scratching the surface. So anyway, just wanted to welcome you all here. And today's episode is another good one. Before we get into that, however, I did want to mention to you that we are still having my book anniversary if you're listening to this in real time. This is in September of 2023, and we are giving away 10 copies of my book, The Designer Within, and one grand prize box of goodies, which does include the book inside of it as well. So 10 signed copies of the book and one grand prize box of goodies with the signed copy of the book inside of it. All you have to do to register is go to johnmcclain.co, or you can just head to my Instagram page at John McClain Design or at The Designer Within. Go to the links section at the top, and then you can click on the links and enter the giveaway. It's totally free to enter. All you have to do is follow both accounts on Instagram and follow this podcast that you're listening to now. So you might already do those three things. If you do, click the box on the entry and you're good to go. And your name is entered into the drawing. The drawing will be held on November 4th. So enter right now for the 1-year anniversary giveaway of my book. Or if you're not into giveaways and free stuff, you can just head to the link also in my bio on Instagram and purchase a copy. They are on sale for the 1-year anniversary for only $29, and that is for a signed copy. You can also buy them, of course, anywhere books are sold, from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, etc. I just cannot guarantee the price that they have them for, but I know for sure the supply that we have is on sale for a signed copy for $29, and that does include free shipping. Again, just head to the link in my Instagram bio and you can purchase it there. Also, remember, I will be at High Point Market in October, Friday at Odette Furniture, Saturday at Elk Home, and Sunday at the Universal Learning Center, teaching a 1-hour seminar on pricing, the thing that we're all interested in. So once again, head to my Instagram or my website and find out information on how to register for those free panel discussions. So back to today's episode. I'm really excited about this one. So excited, as a matter of fact, that it was the first chapter of my book. So the title of today's episode is Listen to Your Heart. And that can go into a lot of different directions in any aspect of your life. But today, of course, we're going to apply it to interior design and to the design of your home. As I said, I started chapter 1 of my book, The Designer Within, with the title of the chapter, Listen to Your Heart. And this chapter was about my own home. And it was very important for me to start the book by saying, listen to your heart, because I wanted to, as I've mentioned to you before, educate everyone on all of the behind the scenes that goes into designing a home. And for me, part of that is the mindset that one gets into when we are designing a home, whether we are a designer or whether we are a homeowner. All of those things have a certain mindset, a certain belief, a certain feeling, a certain emotional attachment that happens during the process of designing a home. And it was really important for me to let you all know in my book to start by saying, listen to your heart. So, as I said, the first chapter is about my very own home. And my home in the first chapter was a brand new home. And I was actually fortunate enough to be able to renovate that home completely. Sidebar, I really hated all of the finishes that were in the house. And this sounds totally privileged to say all of this. And I guess it actually is. But I did not like any of the finishes when we were looking at the home and touring the home. So much so that when the home builder was walking us through during the final inspection, he was saying, "Oh my gosh, don't you love this kitchen? It's so great." And I said, "You're wasting your time. I'm going to rip everything out of this kitchen because I hate everything." And he was like, "Yeah, you're right. It's pretty crappy stuff." So I I knew from the beginning that I was going to listen to my heart and make this home a personal home for my husband and myself and our dog Jax. And I did that. And that is what my mantra was as I was picking out every single thing throughout this home. Listen to our heart. And I designed the home with things that I knew that we would love, finishes that I knew that we would love. But I also wanted to break some rules. I wanted to break some typical design rules, quote unquote, by trying out new things, by experimenting with materials and new colors and really just the overall use of products and patterns and things that I would never be able to do possibly in a client's home. Because sometimes clients, if you're listening, you're a little apprehensive about letting us designers try new things. So I used my own home as this experimental prototype to do really fun things to show clients what is available if they just let us open up our minds, our creative minds, and let those juices flow. I did that in my home and I was so happy with the outcome. It was not designed for anyone else. It was designed for us. And I dug deep, deep, deep into the recesses of things that I had always wanted to do and things that I had maybe been, as I said, told no by a client before. And I was actually fortunate enough to partner with some amazing brands on this home too. And they actually helped sponsor the home and turn it into a show home of sorts. So I was able to partner with amazing cabinetry companies and lighting companies and tile companies and stone companies and all these great, great vendors who understood that I wanted to do something different and that I wanted to design a home that was hopefully not cookie cutter and that no one had seen before. For instance, in my living room, I knew instantly when I saw this house, we had a 20-foot living room. The ceilings were 20 feet tall. And I knew that there had to be a fireplace, floor to ceiling. I wanted this very contemporary design. I wanted it to be this mix of materials, and I ended up designing a fireplace that had actually a insert inside of it that was mist. So it was water vapor mist. So there was no heat coming out of it, but it looked like a real fireplace. But not only that, I was also able to change the facade of the fireplace to be very interesting, I feel. I designed it with lots of simple shapes, but arranged them in a pattern that was atypical from what you would see on a fireplace. There was no book matching of stone. It is a very intricate laid out pattern that I moved around so many times until I got it right. But the kicker of the fireplace is that it is a mixture of porcelain stone that looks like real stone from Stoneville, USA, over in North Hollywood in LA, and leather. So I mean, yes, you heard me, leather. So I mixed leather as part of these panels and stone, this porcelain, very thin porcelain stone that looks like real stone. And I had them cut into a pattern that is the focal point of the room. Thank goodness the stone company who not only supplied the stone, but who also gave me the name of a wonderful fabricator, was able to work with me to get the pattern that I wanted, to add a bench to the bottom. And if you're wanting to know what this looks like, you can see it in the first chapter of my book as well. But it was just one of those things where I knew that that is what I wanted. I was not going to take no for an answer, even to the point where I could not find anyone. And this is the first time that I have admitted this, but I could not find anyone who would cut the leather panels to go into the fireplace. Everyone was so timid about it. The stone company would do these amazing cuts that they did, but no one would cut the leather panels. So Guess who cut the leather panels? It was me. I decided that if no one else was going to do it, what do we designers do when we need something done? We become resourceful and do it ourselves. And that is exactly what I did. So the panels that you see on my fireplace were actually cut and installed by yours truly. And I have no regrets about that at all. As I said, I was fortunate enough to be able to partner with amazing brands and amazing companies who have these gorgeous products who fit the bill for exactly what I needed in my home. And if you're wondering what all of the details are of the sponsors and who is involved in my home, I actually have a YouTube channel and it's just John McClain Design. And I made videos of the entire home. I did a tour of every room, of all of the products that I use, of details about that. And you can find that on my YouTube channel. You can also find some more details on an interview that I did for Open House TV, and they also have that episode on their YouTube channel. But if you want more info on that, head over to YouTube and you can see some videos of all that went into the design of that home, even down to the front yard. Everything was done for what we wanted. And as I said, the premise of this first chapter of my book is exactly that, doing what you want, doing what you want. So I did what I wanted in my own home, and I want you to do what you want in your own home. Now, of course, we as design professionals know more about design than the average person. That's our job. We are educated, we have lots of practice, lots of experience, lots of expertise, but it does not mean we still cannot bring the client's wishes to life or that we ignore their wishes altogether. So if you are a client, your ideas are valid, they are important, and any designer who does not listen to you is not your designer. No designer should ever come in and immediately dismiss things that you have, ideas that you have, because at the very least, we can give you a valid reason of why that would not work. If there's no reason why it would not work, if they cannot give you a reason, I don't see a reason why that could not work. But 9 times out of 10, I can give a reason why something is either wrong or could be done better in an instant, and most designers worth their salt could also do that. Many times, however, new clients think that we are going to be, as designers, dictators and force them into doing what we want, which I know some designers are that. I pride myself and my company on never ever being a dictator of design, never ever being someone who is going to come in and steamroll a client. That is not what we are supposed to do. We are a partnership, and I love that term partnership. I have it on our website. I say it in all of our marketing, and I truly, truly mean it. I never, ever approach a situation with a client with the anticipation of forcing a client to do something, because as I have told a client, if you are hell-bent on doing something, then we will do it, because you know what? I cannot see it from my house. So it does not matter to me. But if it will work in your house and if it still functions the way it's supposed to and you love it, and for some reason aesthetically I don't like it, we will still do it if you really, really want it, because I am not the one who has to live with it. Also, magazines, blogs, TV shows, social media, all those things, they all have a reason for showing you and showing us what they are showing, what they are displaying. And it's usually that they want to sell something. They usually want to sell us their products, sell us their furniture, sell us their lighting, which is totally fine if you truly love it. But I'm frankly very much over this cookie cutter designs that I see over and over and over again on social media, on TV, and in magazines. It is really, really exhausting to me to see the exact same room laid out in a different way, with the same fabrics on the sofa, with almost the same tossed pillows on the chairs, the same chairs, very similar lighting. There is nothing original to that, is what I'm trying to say. And it gets exhausting as a creative person to see someone basically copy something that has been done a million times over. And I want to remind you, as anyone who's living in a home, this is your home in capital letters. After all of the dust has settled from if it's a renovation, after all of the workers are gone, if you have a designer, that designer has already moved on to another project, it is you. It is you and your family who are living there and who must enjoy that home. What are you sacrificing when you paint your house the latest, trendiest color, or use the quote unquote most popular sofa? Yes, I'm talking to you, the cloud sofa from RH. Or add a certain horizontal wood that we all know about to every room in your home just because someone on TV does it, because they're flipping a house and they want to get it done quickly. What are you sacrificing just because you are being bombarded with certain designs, with certain furniture, with certain lighting, with certain rooms, with certain aesthetics of a home? What are you sacrificing in your own creativity, even if you're not a designer, but especially if you're a designer? What are you sacrificing if you are just simply copying what someone else is showing to you? I'm not saying we will not bring parts of design into our own design. We all do that. We all are inspired, of course, by designs and furniture of the past and the great designers of furniture and the interior decorators and designers who came before us. I'm inspired every single day by those people, and I'm influenced in my design by them as well. But to take something and exactly copy it is not design. That is just copying. And I had this happen to me exactly in that manner when there was a bathroom that we designed for a client. And this bathroom it was a beautiful powder room. And you guys, if you follow me for any time at all, you know which one I'm speaking about. It was this beautiful green jewel box of a powder room. And I was inspired by the subway tile that I had seen literally in the subway in London. And this green hue of the subway tile was so gorgeous. It was so rich. We looked and searched and we found the perfect subway tile. We installed it on a beautiful herringbone pattern. We added the perfect vanity with brass and marble and wallpaper on the side walls aside from the tile. And we really took time putting this room together. And it became one of our most popular rooms, this tiny little powder room. It was searched a lot online. It was one of the most saved photos on house.com. And it just sort of became this little calling card innocently for us. And we loved it. We loved that little space. I love designing bathrooms as a sidebar. It's one of my favorite rooms to design. Particularly powder rooms are my favorite room to design. All that aside. So I'm looking around and I start seeing that popping up on blogs, which it does normally, and they give credit for it, which is fine. Then I see it popping up in articles and newspapers, and they're giving credit for it in magazines. And then I start seeing blatant copies of it. And I don't just mean a copy of the colors, I mean the exact layout of the room. And then I start seeing renderings of it popping up on the internet. Because if you can do a reverse image Google search, you can find that image in other places. So I do a reverse image search and I see where people have copied that room to enter into competitions. They've literally copied it verbatim, the exact materials, the exact size of the room, the exact products that we use, and they had entered it into design competitions. And that's to me where you take it past the point of inspiration and then you move it into a direct point of copying something. That does not sit well with me. I actually called that person out on it, and that person had the nerve to get angry with me, saying that it was my responsibility to let them know if that design if that design was mine. And that, of course, did not go over well with me because, even a bunny will fight if you put it into a corner. And that's what happened to me. So I got a little angry with this person and I told them to take that down and they cannot use my design as a blatant copy for their entry into a competition. So be vigilant about that if you are a designer. Our work can be copied in any form or fashion. And there are so many, this is a whole other podcast episode, but there are so many people on social media who have made a living, who have made their entire Instagram page out of literally posting other designers' work. And many don't even give credit to the designer. So that is something that I hate, I loathe. If you are going to post another designer's work for the expectation of benefiting yourself, you always should give credit to that designer. There's one lady in particular who does this, and I cannot believe how much she has built her entire career on basically using someone else's work to bolster herself. And now this person has product lines and all of these things on her own, but it was all built on the shoulders of real designers who came before her. So that, again, is one of those things that does not sit well with me. Be inspired by designers, be inspired by other people, but find originality in your own work. And speaking of originality, when you are designing your home, whether it's a room or even just a corner space in a bedroom, for instance, you should be original. You should find creativity. And for designers, I'm sorry, I'm still on my high horse, but for designers who just renovate a room and take it from dark to light, and add some furniture, it does not mean that that room was quote unquote designed. That's just a transformation, and not all transformations are good, right? So just be original. Think of something new. If you are a designer and your client is in a rush to get the project done, show them your creative process. Require that they follow your process and give you time to come up with truly original ideas. If they refuse, then you move on. It's that simple. It is part of your process as a creative, as a designer, to spend an adequate amount of time on the creative process. And I'm really tired of designers turning themselves into facilitators for clients who simply want us to complete the same look that everyone else has. That is not our job. We are here to be creatives. You have hired us to be creatives. You have paid us a good, solid fee to be creative. So let us do that. Let us be original and let us bring something new to you that we might not have ever done before. There was once a client I remember where we were just coming up with ideas for their project, and I said something about, oh, we could redesign your fireplace in this style. And I sort of verbally explained what I was thinking about. And the client said, oh, show me a photo of that. And I said, well, I don't have a photo because it came out of my head. And the client literally could not understand. And there were no photos of this to back up what I was saying because it was a truly original design. It was a truly original idea. And it was something that not only we as a firm had never done before, but I don't recall ever seeing any other firms had done it before either. And that is the beauty of what we do. When I see in a magazine or online another designer or another home that has pushed the boundaries and has done something truly unique, I just stare at that photo, and you designers know what I'm talking about. I just stare at that image forever, and I look at all the details and I soak it in and I analyze it, and it all just amazes me that when you really truly design a room with every detail and every aspect analyzed, the beauty that can come from that, the amazement that can come from those details. But on the flip side, when I see a room that's basically the same room that I've seen 1,000 times that week on my Instagram scroll, I just scroll right by it. And it's not that it's an ugly room, it's a fine room. It's just that I'm tired of seeing the same rooms over and over and over, as I said before. But consumers and homeowners, let us designers, let us do our jobs and let us be creatives and give us the time to do that. Let us have that freedom to truly design your home in a unique way. And if you're looking at our website and you're inspired by something that you see, that's wonderful. But just know that most designers are not going to copy a room or a home that they've previously done, because part of our reason for doing what we do is that we love the challenge of a new project and we love the challenge of a new design. So when a new client signs on, we're not getting excited about just replicating something that we've previously done. We're getting excited about finding new fabrics and finding new furniture or designing new furniture and choosing new paint colors and choosing new lighting and rugs and designing all new things. That's what lights us up and that's what gets us excited. So let us do that. And renderings do help with this, but I'm also here to give a little PSA about renderings. Renderings, to those who don't know, are not what happens after a quick 60-second commercial break on television. They take that break, they come back, there's this beautiful fly through of the home. They're zooming in and pulling out, and everyone watching is, oh my gosh, they did that so quickly. No, no, no. Renderings take lots of time to complete, and that comes with a price tag. So for the homeowners who innocently asked, and by the way, it is innocently. No one is doing it with any sort of malice. Everyone asked it innocently because that is what they are shown. But for those homeowners who innocently asked for renderings or these 3D walkthroughs, we as design professionals must educate our clients and these homeowners on what actually goes into prepping those and the cost associated with doing that. That is even if you do it in-house. If it's out of your office, our costs just to pay someone to do that can easily range from $1,000 to $3,000 per room, per space, depending upon the details and the number of views of that room. So it's very, very expensive. And that's even before we add on the time that it takes to relay what we're looking for. So consumers, trust your design professional. And it's not our first rodeo. We will not lead you down the wrong path. And I can speak speak for my firm, we do not automatically offer renderings for every room. We offer them for specific important rooms, such as a kitchen or a bathroom. But for clients who want them for the rest of their homes, we do let them know that that comes with a cost. And we give them an estimate of that and let them know that that could change down the road. But 99.9% of the time, we present with such details in our presentations with all of the fabrics and the swatches and the materials that most clients can leave that meeting and see and fully understand exactly what is going to happen in that room, where the sofa is going to be, where the table is going to be, what material is going to be used on it, et cetera, et cetera. And they do not require a rendering. But of course, renderings are there if they are going to be necessary to help the client fully understand that room. Now, that's not to say that those of you who do renderings automatically are wrong. I applaud you for that. If you have renderings worked into your pricing and you are charging accordingly for that, and you are making a profit from your renderings by charging your client accordingly, bravo to you. And if your clients are willing to pay that, even better. That will probably get you to a design decision a little bit quicker. But for those of us who do not do that, we find alternate methods to offer our clients. And then again, for the client listening and for the consumer listening, trust your designer. We do know what we're doing. I'm actually about to teach a seminar at Universal Learning Center at High Point Market on Sunday, October 15th at 4 p.m. about my new pricing model. And I'm not going to give it away, but let's just say it places a high value on our creative work, on the creative process, and not a high value on all of the schlepping, if you will, around that we do as designers sometimes with picking up pillows or samples or delivering things to workrooms. But the creative work. And by the way, the creative work is the real reason that we all became designers to begin with. It is the reason that we do what we do, the reason that we go to work in the morning. It is the reason that we are working late in the afternoon and the evenings to prepare for a client presentation. It is the reason, clients, that we put up with so much from all of the different tradespeople on a project for the sake of the project, is because we love what we do. And we love the creative process. So the creative process is something that I never want to rush. It is so important. I value it, and I never want to push that part of the process. And that always comes with the sacrifice of losing some of the creativity and some of the originality of the design. So before we close out this episode, I just want to wrap it all up, reminding you to listen to your heart. Follow your own intuition, your personal preferences, and then bring your interior designer in, if you have one, to follow through with your wishes. Listening to your heart is part of your personal expression. Your home is a reflection of your personality, your interests, your values. Listening to your heart allows you to create a space that truly resonates with who you are and what you love. It also gives you an emotional connection to your home. When you design a home based on your feelings and desires, you create a strong emotional connection to every space. This emotional bond can enhance every aspect of living in your home. Also, designing with your heart encourages authenticity. It allows you to avoid trends, as I mentioned, or styles that may not truly represent you, and instead focus on what genuinely feels right within your heart. Your heart also often leads you to unique and innovative design solutions. It can inspire you to think outside the box and come up with creative ideas that make your home one of a kind. That's what designers see the minute we walk into a space. That is what our superpowers truly are. Also, when you listen to your heart, you have a sense of ownership. If you are involved in the design process and make choices based on your own heart, you develop a strong sense of ownership and pride in your home. And lastly, designing with your heart leads to longevity. It typically results in a timeless design that you will love for years to come because it is you, it is your family. Trends can come and go, but your personal style is enduring. So, to both the designer and the homeowner, value the creativity of yourself and appreciate the creativity of the other. And I ask you both to listen to your heart. There you have it, my friends. That's today's episode. I hope you do listen to your heart and come back and see me next week. Thanks for sticking with me to the end of the Designer Within podcast. It means the world to me. If you're ready to dive deeper into the topics that we've discussed here, be sure to check out my online courses and coaching program, The Designer Within Business. You'll join other like-minded creatives in various phases of their own businesses, whether just starting out or career veterans who are enjoying the freedoms and profits that can come from an organized and structured business. Now's the time to make the change for you and your company, and I'll be right by your side the entire way. Learn more at johnmcclain.co. That's johnmcclain.co.